Merry Christmas, everybody. My name is John Collins with Omni Supply, and thought we'd do something a little different this morning from a video standpoint. Instead of talking about grease pillows and hinges and access panels, thought I'd have a little fun. I'm going to show you how I make my wife's world famous chocolate chip cookies. Yes, world famous. Everyone in our family loves them, and she's probably, between her and I, we probably make at least a batch a week, if not every 2 weeks, and have here at the house, give to friends, family. And so I just kind of show you ours. I know there's a lot of recipes out there, and I think ours is one of the better ones. Some of the things you'll need, you're gonna need, measuring spoon. This one's a great one. It does tablespoons, teaspoons. It makes it really easy. Measuring cup. I like to use a professional mixer. I think it makes the job a lot easier. And for that, you'll need the mixing paddle that comes with it. You want to preheat your oven at 375 degrees. From a mixing standpoint, you're going to need flour, brown sugar, white sugar, baking soda here, salt, vanilla, real vanilla. Don't buy imitation vanilla. Make sure you get pure vanilla. It's the best kind. And butter. It'll be 2 sticks of butter. The big thing about butter is you want butter at room temperature. That's the best way to bake with butter. So I usually put it out the night before, just so it gets that way. The other thing I do with the butter is I slice it up into slices. It makes it easy for the mixer to break it all up and break it down. And the last thing you'll need are, of course, chocolate chips. Semi-sweet morsels, Nestle's, Costco brand, whatever the case may be, whatever you like. They work great. And I think I mentioned eggs. If I didn't, I apologize to the eggs. What I like to do is, there's kind of 2 steps to this process. One is the sugar process along with the eggs and vanilla. And the other is the flour, salt, and baking soda. So what I do is I take the flour, salt, and baking soda, and I mix that together first in a separate bowl and get that all mixed in really well. And then in the second bowl, the bowl is going to go in the mixer. I do the sugars and that type of stuff. So I already have the white sugar in here, as you can see. Next, I'm going to add a cup of brown sugar, and we'll get the recipe online for you in regards to that. It's really important when doing brown sugar is that you pack it in. Brown sugar is it's a product that can take up voids and stuff, so you really want to make sure it's packed in well. You just add that in there with your white sugar. Once you've got both those things in, what I like to do is I like to add the eggs next. We'll take 2 eggs and we'll drop them inside there. Trying to avoid any shells inside the mixture. And then we're going to go ahead and add in our butter. And like I said, I like to cut the butter up, as you can see here, into pieces. It mixes easier when you put all that together. I've got to open up the other one here and cut that one up. And you can follow the guidelines on there. Tablespoon sizes is fine. Like I said, it just helps when it's mixing that it just mixes a little bit easier and better in regards to that. It breaks down. As I said, you want your butter at room temperature. I'm not sure the science behind that. I just know it does make a difference in regards to how all the cookies come out. The other key we'll talk about in a second is the mixing time and how well you mix it. So the last piece that goes in here is the vanilla. And again, like I said, you want pure vanilla. And we're going to stick in a 1.5 teaspoons of that. Again, that's why this is great. I can just go to a 1.5 teaspoons. And there I am. Like measuring with 2 different spoons and getting more stuff dirty than it needs to be. Just dump that right in there and make that happen. Now, once that's done, we'll mix it up in a second. Like I said, we're going to put our flours together. One of the things that people forget is when you're doing flour, the best thing is, fill your spoon up, your cup with your flour. You can overflow it, then you can take this right off the top. Got a perfect cup right there. You're in good shape. You're in really good shape. So as I said, the key to this process is mixing. Okay, and what we've learned over time is that we do at very specific times when it comes to mixing. That gives us a real good consistency on the cookies and enables us to make sure that they taste great every single time. What What do I do with my timer here? Oh, here it is. Sorry about that. So our first step is we're gonna mix our ingredients here at speed 2 for 30 seconds. Okay. So I flip this thing to speed 2, and then let that go for 30 seconds. Now at this point in time, it's mixing those sugars together, the vanilla and the butter, getting a creamy consistency with the product. That enables us to then mix it a little bit more, and then go ahead and then we'll add in our flours and finally our chocolate chips. All right, so that's done mixing now, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of scrape the edges a little bit, just push down any sugar or flour or anything that got up there on the side. And I'm just using a plastic spatula to do that with, and that's the easiest thing to do. I like to have a paper towel handy to lay things on. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to beat this on speed 4 for 30 more seconds. So we're going to flip that to speed 4, get started here. And again, timing is everything. If you go 31 seconds or 28 seconds, 29 seconds, it's not the end of the world. The key is though, you don't want to let it go a minute, okay? Or only do it 15 seconds. 30 seconds seems to be the right amount of time to get that done and make that happen. We're coming up at 20 seconds here. I'm hoping everybody's getting ready for the holidays. I know it's been another tough year with COVID and stuff that's going on with that. But hopefully, with the holiday season, we can make a difference in what's happening going on. So now that that's done, okay, again, we're going to want to scrape our bowl, just kind of push everything down to the center of the bowl. And again, if you're doing this by hand or with a mixer, you kind of follow the same process. By hand, you're not going to just do it by 30 seconds. It's going to take longer. But you want to get, it's hard to show this here without taking everything apart. But we'll give it a shot here. Kind of want a consistency that looks like that. It's just, you still see some butter chunks and things like that, which is perfectly fine. That's what you want it to look like at this point. And again, if you have a professional mixer like this, it makes it a lot easier from a timing standpoint. What you're doing and what's going on there. Put that back up. So our next step now is we've taken our flour mixture, we've got that all ready. Again, that's the baking soda, salt, and the flour. And I put it in here and I've mixed it up together. So it's evenly spread out. And that's a mistake a lot of people make. They will not pre-mix this. They'll just kind of dump the stuff in and put it in, and it will eventually get mixed in, but not as well. Anytime you're calling for powders and sugars and things like that to be mixed, it's ideal to mix them up ahead of time, just so that they're evenly spread throughout the product. So what we're going to do here is that, let me set my timer here, is we're going to turn this thing on to the stir speed for 2 minutes. And as it's speeding, I'm going to be dumping in our flour mixture product into there. Let me just move this over here a little bit so everybody can kind of see what's going on and happening here. So I'm going to turn this to stir speed here. Start. And then I'm just going to start spooning this in a bit at a time. Not all at once. You want to have it all in by a minute, okay? And I'm just going to kind of just keep dumping it in there. I like to wait for the paddle to kind of be on the other side of the bowl. If you have one of these, you'll know what I mean by that. Just get the stuff down there really good so it can grab a hold of it and let it happen and move around. We're about 30 seconds in. We're doing really well here. And what you'll see happening is it's kind of almost getting like a Play-Doh consistency to it as it goes around. It'll have a kind of a lightish brown color to it. And you can see I'm just kind of spooning it all in. Getting it all in there. Got it in there. Now there's some here at the top. I'm just going to put my spoon up there and knock it down. Okay? And let that keep going. And that's, like I said, going to go for about 2 minutes. We got a great consistency of our product. You might be able to see a little bit of it here. Now what I do next is I go ahead and push everything down into the bowl, scrape the sides again. Try and get everything down there as best as can. Oh, a little bit here on the side. It fell off there. It's okay. Get it all down there really good. Okay. I take my spoon and just scrape this off down here. It's down inside there. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this on speed 2, and we're going to mix about another 30 seconds. Okay. So let me get my timer going here. Speed 2. And then let that go for 30 seconds. Make that happen. Now, I've got the oven preheated to 375 degrees. I've got my cookie pan out. We're just going to do one pan to get started here, just so we can show you guys what's going on and happening. And the cook time on these cookies in our oven is 9 minutes. I like to undercook the cookies just a little bit. Let them sit on the pan for about a couple minutes just to keep going. They'll keep heating and keep cooking a little bit. And that generally gives you a very nice, soft, somewhat gooey cookie when everything is said and done. It's pretty good. So our next step here is, again, I'm just going to go ahead and scrape the bowl again, get everything down there, and we're going to be adding our chocolate chips next. Okay. Now, the key to this part is to put the chocolate chip cookies in before you turn the mixer on, because you're only going to mix for 15 seconds with the cookies. Okay. So we use 3 cups of chocolate chips. It may seem like a lot, but it really makes a difference. And what I do is when I pour them in, I pour some in the back of the bowl. Okay. Some on the side here, and then the rest here on the kind of the front side. I think it just helps the mixer do a better job mixing them up. Drop one there. Always tastes good, those chocolate chips. Always taste good. So what we're going to do here is we're going to turn to stir speed for about 15 seconds with this. So stir speed, 15 seconds. I'll let that go around a few times. Mix those chocolate chips together, do the final mixing on the dough itself, and then we'll be in really, really good shape. So we've mixed chocolate chip, always good, always good. Drop this down, get this all off of here now, off the paddle, and I'll give you a show what this all looks like when it's said and done here. Let's see that paddle. Take the paddle off. Well, sometimes with the paddle you'll get some flour that may drop in there that was on top of the paddle. That's fine, won't hurt anything at all. You know, it's not mixed in or anything like that. Get the paddle all scraped off. Get all the dough off of there as much as we can. I'm going to use that for cookies and whatnot. All right, so there we go. Looks good. Okay. Do a little. Now some people say, oh, you're eating dough with raw egg. I've been eating chocolate chip cookie dough for years, but I've been making them and never gotten me sick before. So I guess I never say never, it's up to you. Put over here in the sink. So here's what our dough looks like. Okay, hopefully you can see that. I'll take a spoon of it out here. This is the big thing here, a spoon of dough. I like to taste it. What I'm tasting for is consistency in the flavor, as well as you can almost taste a little bit of sugar, kind of crunch a little bit. Another thing is, turn that spoon upside down, that dough should just sit there. Okay? And that means you got a good consistency in your dough as well. Pretty dang good, man. Pretty dang good. So, the next step here is putting the cookies on the tray. Some people put parchment paper down. Some people spray. I don't do anything. There's enough oil in the mixture itself, from the eggs and the vanilla and things like that, that I've never had a problem with them sticking to the pan at all. So, we get our spoon out, and I like to use a little bit of a bigger spoon, but only fill up about half the spoon with dough. About that much. Stick that right on the pan. Try and make the pieces you put on the plate, or the pan, I should say, I apologize, about the same size as you can. I like to get them all on there first. And then I'll eyeball each one, and you know, sometimes I'll add more. Sometimes I'll take some stuff off the thing. You know, so they're all relatively the same size, and you know, and again, you're not going to get it exact, that's for sure. It's almost impossible. And you'll kind of just learn over time how to eyeball this. But what I find about this is I just enjoy doing it, you know. So there's my cookies on the plate. You can see they're all about the same size. Okay, you know, decent spacing. And then we're simply going to pop these in the oven at 375 degrees for 9 minutes. And then I'll come back when the first batch is done and show you what they look like. Thanks. Okay, just took the cookies out of the oven. There they are. As you can see, you might say, well, those don't look done yet. But like I said, we're going to let these sit for about a minute or so before we take them off the pan. So the heat of the pan will still come through the cookies, and they'll continue to cook even when we take them off the pan and put them down here on the countertop here, which I put some wax paper down on the countertop just to put the cookies on. That way, if there's any chocolate that melts from the bottom and stuff, it doesn't stick to the countertop. It's easy to get them off these. Like I said, we'll let these sit for about a minute and then we'll take the cookies off. I like to use a spatula like this. It's got a little angled end here, allows you to kind of get under the cookie and pop it up, and just drop it right down here on top of this. But you know, any spatula can do. Some people have plastic or vinyl spatulas. Those are kind of thick on the end, and they can tend to push the cookie because the cookie is going to be soft. Where this leading edge can get underneath there really, really nicely. So those cookies have had a chance to sit up for a little bit. I'm just going to grab one of them here. As you can see, they're nice and golden brown, soft. Kind of break them apart here. See that chocolate like that? Really good chocolate chip cookie. Lots of chocolate chips inside of it. That comes with those 3 cups of chocolate chips. A lot of recipes will call for 1 cup, maybe 1.5 cups. You can see that they're, you know, the chocolate's kind of melty there. Some of it's even still full, but it's soft. Good cookie. So inclined, glass of milk, maybe some eggnog this time of the year. Who knows? Really good cookie. Again, from Hobby Supply, thank you very much. Have a great holiday season. Enjoy your time off with your family and your friends. And remember, get your vaccination. Take care. Bye.